Harrison Bader joining the Murph and Markus show on the UMA guest line. And Harrison, we haven't met yet. Brian Murphy, Marcus Boucher. We do the morning show here on KMBR, which is the Giants' flagship. And great news for you, buddy, is that in 2 weeks we will be at Scottsdale Stadium doing our show, so we will meet you in person. I know that just made your morning. So it's Murph and Markus saying a big, gigantic welcome to San Francisco. Welcome to the Orange and Black. Welcome to the Giants franchise. How you doing, Harrison?
Hey, what's up, Harrison?
Hey, I'm doing great, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys as well.
Yeah, it should be fun. How about you going to be manning the same position that Willie Mays manned for the San Francisco Giants? How's that for a starter?
Yeah, that's actually the very first thing my father said that he was really excited about. So it really is an incredible thing when you kind of think about the perspective and the opportunity and, obviously what this game and what the team means. Just so much more than just zoomed in, any singular deal. Just to be a part of so much history, I'm honored. I'm extremely grateful, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to try to do my best and hold it down as well as he did.
Yeah, well, we know Willie was a great defender back at the Polo Grounds. Now, you won't have to cover that much territory, but obviously coming over to Oracle Park, what are your thoughts on playing center field with triple alleys and those dimensions that you'll be now facing in San Francisco?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think the beautiful thing about baseball, every field has different dimensions. I remember always coming into San Francisco on the plane, our defensive coach would always come over to us and say, "All right, guys, we got to get out there early and start planning because we don't want to get beat by the field or give up extra bases because San Fran's got a lot of quirky parts, like you mentioned." So I view it as an exciting challenge. I'm ready to tackle it. I'm going to spend a lot of time out there familiarizing myself with the field and make sure that I'm playing the ball off the walls well and getting to the ball appropriately and giving up as few extra bases as possible as a result of the dimension. So I'm excited. I can't wait, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, and keeping it in San Francisco terms, your first big league home run was in San Francisco, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Tell us the
full circle.
Tell us the memory of it.
Countless examples.
I want to say that Buster Posey was the catcher that day.
Potentially, actually, yeah. I mean, we're really used to looking forward, so sometimes you kind of forget who's behind the dish. I had enough on my plate trying to deal with Cueto, so that was my main focus. But no, it was like a 1-0 slider, if I remember correctly. Just kind of caught more in the middle of the plate and happened to put a good swing on it. So I've always said Cueto was so much fun to play against because he always changed up his delivery times. He kind of messed with you. He'd always do things with a big smile. So I always enjoyed competing against him, and that was obviously a great moment to me to kind of get my career started with my first home run in San Fran.
So if I have my baseball reference page correct, you hit 4 homers in 65 plate appearances, 60 at bats. That's not a nice little one every 15. That's pretty darn good. So people say, "Oh, Oracle Park is where hitters go to die." Not you, huh? You were willing to. Is there something about your swing path or the way you pull the ball down the left field line? What worked for you to get some success with the long ball?
Yeah, hopefully we keep that going, right? I have a lot of comments, and I certainly will this year. I think if you know what you're trying to accomplish at the plate, I don't think there's a lot of left fields that kind of contain big league hitters. At the end of the day, like if you get it properly and correctly to the pull side, you're going to have success. So obviously the park plays pretty big to right center and some areas like that, but certainly the way I attack the baseball, I'm trying to do a little bit different and stay to right center at times. And there will certainly be some times where you're going to go that way, but I think in general, you do set yourself up for your best swing, and for me, that really is kind of like left center, your pull side out front. So, I think it's a big left field over there. There's a lot of room, and hopefully we just keep having success with what I'm trying to accomplish at the plate. Yeah.
Yeah, and even with the narrative of it being a pitcher's ballpark and not a hitter's ballpark, we've seen plenty of hitters have success there, like Barry Bonds, like Buster Posey, and even a couple of your new teammates, Willie Adames, 30 home runs last year, Rafael Devers after being traded by the Boston Red Sox. Harrison, have you had a chance to reach out to talk to any of your teammates about who you'll be playing with this season?
I have, yes. I'm really excited to kind of meet everybody else as well. Spoke to Chappie a little bit. He's awesome. I playing in Texas with him coming up, so there's a lot of history there, and He's always just a great, playing your opponent on hit the third base, have casual conversations, and obviously playing Willie in all those years in the Central. When he was with the Brewers and I was with the Cardinals, always just a high energy guy, big smile, big energy, love the big moment. So listen, I'm excited. I really am. I'm just really excited to kind of settle in, hone in, and bring my game to a super good clubhouse, a very talented clubhouse, and I'm just looking forward to just the daily work with everybody. I've been in a lot of clubhouses the past few years. I think with the way the game has kind of trended, I'm finding myself, whether it's a trade acquisition or on a 1-year deal to prove myself, I think bonding with these guys and learning everybody's personality and finding out how to win and finding out how to get the best out of each other, as a teammate, I think is something that I really love to do. So I'm excited to do it with the Giants. I'm excited to be in that clubhouse. I'm just excited to win. Every single day, it's just an effort. It's a group effort. So to do it with a bunch of really talented guys is just something that I'm very grateful for the opportunity for. So yeah. I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Harrison Bader is the voice you hear on the UMA guest line, new Giants center fielder. Every interview I've read, just the positive energy kind of oozing out of Harrison. So you just talked about Willie Adames and Matt Chapman. You also got a new teammate yesterday, Luis Arraez, or I should say over the weekend, Luis Arraez. And you know what's funny, Harrison? Already on our show, we've been only on for a couple hours here at Radio Row in the Super Bowl, and you're getting this civil war over whether a guy winning a batting title has value and getting 181 hits has value versus this crew that's telling us on social media that his metrics are so bad and he doesn't walk enough and his chase rate is bad and he doesn't have a high OPS or WRC plus. I would love for you to explain to us from a big league clubhouse perspective how you value a Luis Arraez and his batting titles versus the guys who are telling us the spreadsheet isn't good on the WRC plus. How do you balance those two arguments? Yeah, go, man. Go. Take it.
Man,
Take it and run. Take it.
I'm happy you asked that question. No, I think the people who make decisions in the front office understand the value of a player, as talented as Luis Arraez. I think that there are always going to be conversations about expected stats and whatnot, and those are all well and good for their conversations. But at the end of the day, what matters most is the lineup you put out there, advancing 90 feet at a time, getting as many hits as possible, getting on base, all these things. He's stacked 3 batting titles on top of that. I think that really does speak for itself. I've seen him work up close. I've watched him work. I've studied how he works, and I know a lot of his coaches and everything. And, all of that speaks for itself. So I don't want to go as far as to criticize or be rude to anybody, but all I can tell you is that he's just an extremely gifted hitter. What he does is something that really good major leaguers can't do. So I'm excited to work with him. I'm happy that we acquired him. And I'm excited to learn from him. So I think his accomplishments thus far kind of speak for themselves, regardless of what somebody on Twitter might have to say. So I have tremendous respect for him, and I'm looking forward to having him be a teammate of mine for sure.
Yeah, well, you were very polite there. You restrained. So I got to ask you, though, because the metrics are very kind to you defensively. Like you and Kevin Kiermaier are believed to be the 2 best outs above average guys, I think, in the last however many years in baseball. I mean, you're one of the elite defenders of the 21st century based on metrics. So for you, do you look at an OAA or a range or UZR or whatever? Or are you like, hey, man, I'm just out here trying to run down balls, hit cutoff men, all that stuff? Where do you use metrics in evaluating your defensive play?
Yeah, I got nothing on KK, so I appreciate you saying that. But that's one of my idols, so shout out to him for sure. He's one of the best I've ever observed playing, so I love to model my game off of him. So I think what he does extremely well is he catches the ball, he takes extremely crisp routes. He doesn't give the opposition, any extra bases really, whether it's filling a ball off the wall, whether it's getting to the ball quickly and getting into your cutoff man, really minimal errant throws. He doesn't really bobble the ball, and sometimes these little things where you're on the warning track and you approach the ball too aggressively or something, or maybe you try to pick it up with your bare hand and you kind of fumble it, and then the third base coach is hawk-eyeing you, and Then he starts, waving the guy to go from second to third. So all these little things he just does extremely well. So I guess to answer your question, I certainly take a look at the stats here and there in terms of maybe defensive runs saved, which can kind of get a little convoluted at times too. But listen, at the end of the day, I care about errors. Obviously, I want to have as few of those as possible. I certainly care about my innings. I want to be out there every single day for my teammates. So I want to accumulate as many innings as possible. And listen, I care about putouts. I want to catch the ball. I really want to make as many high percentage catches against me. I want to make as many of those as possible. So anything really beyond that, I think it really is kind of simple. Catch the ball, hit your cutoff man, and your job is done, and do that as often as possible over the course of 162. So I really just try to keep it simple by controlling as many variables as I can. Some of those kind of include, pre-pitch positioning, knowing what my pitcher's trying to do to the hitter, knowing what my catcher's trying to do. And kind of beyond that, I'm moving my outfielder, so we move as a unit, and we're all cohesive and communicative. And then beyond that, I just tell myself to react. Don't try to predict. Don't get too heavy on one direction of your feet, anticipating the ball. Just simply react. So try to repeat that for as many games as possible, and be out there for my guys and with as many balls in as possible, so I make their job a little bit more easy. So yeah. But again, going back to KK, guys like him, man, he's one of the best I've ever seen up close. So I know he does those things really well. So I try to be like him.
Harrison Bader is the voice you hear this morning on the UMA guest line, newest outfielder for the San Francisco Giants. But Harrison, there's also a new skipper in town. So tell us about what have those conversations been like with Tony Vitello, and how big of a factor was he in your decision to come to San Francisco?
Yeah, I mean, I was certainly excited about the Giants giving him an opportunity to go straight from the SEC to the major leagues. And as we're kind of preparing for where we might be going in free agency, I don't really have a lot of control over that. So if I had 20 teams, that were all in on me and I could kind of pick and choose, I certainly think that having a new manager, a new high-energy manager, one that I know a lot about from my time in the SEC and also some players who played for him, he's awesome. But, it kind of just shaped out that way. But I'm extremely excited for him. I've said it many times in talking with you guys and kind of getting to know a lot of the media in San Francisco, and they've all asked me the same question about Tony. And I just think it's a fantastic opportunity. And that's all you can really ask for in this game and kind of in life is just an opportunity, and when an opportunity comes, like, how prepared are you? How ready are you to attack any and everything that might come your way? So I think with regard to that, he's certainly equipped, he's prepared, and I'm excited to just kind of do it with him. It's a long season. It can be challenging at times, there's no doubt, but at the end of the day, I think at its core, it really is the same game in the SEC. You add some more fans, a little bit more speed maybe, and you kind of have the big leagues. But I think in terms of what you do, how you wake up, how you go to bed every single night, I think there are a lot of similarities. I think he does it extremely well as far as, I've heard in terms of his preparation and his energy. So, again, I'm just thrilled to go to the yard every day with him. I love high energy. I love people who care. And I love people who want it. You got to want in this game more than anybody else and more than anything. So I know he shares those qualities, and I'm just excited to kind of mirror that energy as we go out there and try to navigate getting as many wins as possible.
Harrison Bader, last couple minutes here on the UMA guest line with Murph and Markus. We'll look forward to meeting him in person in Scottsdale in just a couple of weeks as we get going here. I mean, the inevitable Dodgers question here, Harrison. You're going to the NL West now. This is your rival. You and the Padres and the Rockies and the Diamondbacks have to try to conquer this mountain. On paper, they're the World Series champs back-to-back. They're going for 3. They just added Edwin Diaz and Kyle Tucker. They have Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto, on and on and on and on and on. You're a competitor. You're a pro. So are Willie Adames and Matt Chapman and Luis Arraez and all those guys. So your attitude towards the Dodger empire is?
I think it's good. I think the goal to treat every opponent like the Dodgers. I think we want to be the best version of ourselves when we're going out there. So kind of in order to reflect that, every team is the Dodgers. The same way you would prepare for, as many arms as you mentioned, the same way you would prepare for a really stacked lineup. It's how you should prepare for every team that might not have that. You want to be your best self. You want to be your best competing self. So, if you can't get up for a non-Dodger team compared to the Dodgers, then I think you're missing in your preparation. You should prepare the same way to chase the absolute best, and we're certainly going to get that with the Dodgers. So I think it's awesome what they're doing for baseball. I think they're getting a lot of players paid, which is fantastic. So I support it, and I think it's just going to be really good competition. So I think it'll teach us a lot about where we are as a lineup, where we are as a team, how we stack up against them. And, obviously they're in division, but we should be preparing every single day as if we're playing the Dodgers on that stage, with every game meaning as much as it does. So it's good to have them as close as we are. We're going to learn a lot about ourselves, and it's going to teach us how to prepare to beat the best. So I'm just excited for the challenge. But again, everybody's really talented in the big league. So I think it'll just give us an opportunity to sharpen our swords, and just go out there and take it one pitch at a time.
Well, Harrison, I'll say this. As you get more familiar with the NL West and the Dodgers, you'll also get more familiar with the Murph and Markus Morning Show. My partner Murph is the guy that's going to ask you the tough questions about the Dodgers. I'm going to ask you the tough questions about tater tots because I am a tater tot aficionado. So, Harrison, I need the background story on your nickname, Tots.
Yeah, tater tots are my favorite as well. It's just a name I got when I was in high school. There was a freshman or sophomore, and an older baseball player on the team kind of coined it and started calling me Bader Tots. So it stuck. I remember cracking up immediately, and I'd never heard it before, and I thought it was the greatest thing, and it just stuck. So shout out to Sam Hertz, who was the one who started that. So I don't necessarily think he might be listening at the moment, but he knows, I know, we all know that he started it. So shout out to him. And yeah, I think we kind of just ran with it a little bit.
Well, Harrison,
had an awesome opportunity last year.
Yeah. I've caught a lot of heat.
I was just saying, I had a great opportunity.
Yeah, Harrison, sorry to jump in. I was going to say, I've got a lot of heat on the radio by going with a hot take that tater tots are the best form of potato. Yeah, I'll throw out French fry, I'll throw out baked potato, I'll throw out mashed potato.
100%.
What's your hot take? Are tater tots the best final form of a potato?
I mean, I love like a regular sweet potato, but the outside of that, tater tots are the best. There's no doubt. Especially if they're like, a little bit bigger and they're like crispy on the outside, so you still get like something like the soft on the inside, or like a good hash brown. Like, it's the best.
Yeah, mix in a sweet potato tot too. You're good to go, Harrison.
Will you guys take one in a breakfast burrito, a tater tot inside a breakfast burrito?
Absolutely.
Okay. Listen, I'm not anti-tater tot. I'm all pro tater tot. I'm with you guys 100%, man. By the way, last couple things before I let you go. Number one is you grew up in New York, right outside of New York City. You were born in 94, so you kind of missed the Jeter 98, 99, 00, maybe early memories, or was it Mets? Are we going Rangers hockey? Are we going Knicks basketball? Are we going Big Blue, Jets? How are we breaking it down growing up in Bronxville?
Yeah, Yankees, Knicks, Rangers, and Giants.
Okay. So Eli's your guy? Like Eli,
my kind of.
Like Eli beating Brady was like your peak? Yeah?
Oh, yeah. That was great. Yes. We love Eli. We love Eli. Actually, my father made me a Raiders fan, unfortunately.
What?
I missed the early Jeter days in the 90s, but I missed the heyday, obviously, with the Raiders. So I think they're all living back then, which is why I still support the Raiders. But, we got the first pick this year. I hope we do good with it. And I'm always a Raiders fan.
As you get to know your San Francisco media, Murph and Markus in the morning, and we'll be harassing you when you're here. We'll say hi. So I'm the old head Bay Area guy, Murph here. The guy you just talked to about tater tots, Markus, is also a lifelong Raider fan. I think we got tater tots and Raiders. I think you guys are boys. You guys are boys.
And sharing some of the turmoil there.
That's your guy.
Dude, it feels like a scene straight out of
Step
Step
Brothers.
Brothers. Like we just became best friends.
We got faith.
I got you, Harrison.
Got faith.
You know what I was saying?
We were close to Derek Carr a few years ago, but that kind of blew up a little bit.
So are you all in on Fernando Mendoza? You got Mendoza mania?
Hey, listen, I think he's talented. So I hope it translates. That's a big question, right? Does it translate? So certainly looks like he has the work ethic for it. So I'm excited to see how it all plays out for him.
Did you play skate at all? Did you play any hockey?
Nah, no hockey.
Okay, I thought all the New York City kids did that. Get down there and try to get your Madison Square Garden on.
I mean, I can ice skate. I can certainly ice skate, but no, I never put pads on.
Was your high
You
school
gotta
like
understand like how quickly these guys are moving. These guys are moving way too quickly on ice, and you're elevated like
Well,
5-6 inches off the ice because the blade. Like I enjoy the baseball field way more.
I was thinking the way you play baseball, you could crash. You could go get a few guys against the boards, But hey, you chose the grass, which is cool. Hey,
Yeah.
last one is tell us about What a Gift, huh? Phillies made T-shirts. That's your phrase. That's your go-to. I mean, you shouted out Sam Hurts nicknaming you Bader Tots. When did What a Gift become your go-to?
That was back in St. Louis in 2021. I was coming off of like a little flexor strain or something just from training in 2021, and kind of got back early in the season that year and had some success early, but it was kind of the first time I was like down for a while in the big league. So I was just working back and just learning a lot about everything. And I just remember having dinner, just kind of reflecting with one of my very, very close friends in St. Louis, and we kind of coined it then. And it just always it's one of those sayings where like no matter in any situation when you say it, it always turns into a positive. You're sitting in traffic and you're late for work, and you just sit there, smile, and you just say, kind of, what a gift, and it just reminds you of all the little things that in this present moment you can flip it on its head and make it a positive. You're gonna have a good day. You're gonna persevere through it. So I just think there's so many gifts in life. Everything about it. So we are extremely lucky, and we are constantly plunged into situations in the big leagues where you could sit back and just take it in for a second and just simply say what a gift. So we'll be pumping that one out for sure. I'm looking forward to having guys flip their perspective to get through it all. So yeah.
So I would say from the Murph Markus show, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. 20 minutes of Harrison Bader in the morning. What a gift!
What a gift!
What a gift!
What a gift! See?
Yeah.
We're in, buddy. We're all in, man. We're all in. Hey,
You
really
guys are
enjoyed it.
in. You guys are in.
Really enjoyed it. We'll see you in 2 weeks down in Scottsdale. Congratulations on the contract and wearing the orange and black. And so you're going to see, and it. St. Louis was an unbelievable baseball town. It speaks for itself. So is San Francisco. When you guys win, this place is electric, and you guys will win some ball games, and you will feed off of it. You will feed off of it. So there you go, Harrison. Thanks for hopping on Murph Markus, man. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks, Harrison.
Yeah, thank you guys. You too. See you guys soon.
There he is. What a gift.
What a gift.
What a gift.
What a gift.
It's
Murph.
a classic, man. It's a classic. Man, he's a fun dude, right? Fun dude.